Guys, welcome to the Spotter Up Podcast, where we follow the traditional total man concept of gunfighter, writer, wild man, and monk.
In this video, we discussed soft loops and the benefits they offer for your holster attachment options. Tonight, we're going to talk about clips. For the longest time, it was all plastic clips, mostly foamy clips. But in the last few years, especially a company called Discreet Carry Concepts have made metal clips really popular. There are a lot of benefits you get from metal clips, and if you can, I'd recommend going that route. But thousands and thousands of people have been using plastic clips for years. I'm not going to say it's the best solution, but I'm not going to try and tell you specifically what you need to do. I'm just trying to let you have all the information out there. So the original plastic clip that I always started with was the foamy clip. These are holster from A&R Design. They're a great holster company. I've been buying from them for years. They still make awesome stuff. Again, it is a plastic clip. You can break plastic, obviously. You can break metal, but the metal clips out there are much harder to break. The cool thing is that Discreet Carry Concepts and A&R Design have a partnership. You can get a DCC monoblock, which is basically this same shape, but it is metal and has Discreet Carry Concept tooth in the back, so it'll grab on the clothing or something in case you're not wearing a belt. And as it's metal, it's going to be a lot stronger. The downside of this kind of clip is the screw holes are at the top, so you can't tuck anything behind here. You can't tuck your shirt in or something like that. But again, if you're not wearing business attire or if you never tuck your shirt in, that's not really going to be a huge concern for you. So the Discreet Carry Concept clips that most people see, they're usually sized about this. You can get different lengths, so you can adjust the height for your holster depending on what gun size you're using or what height you want the gun to sit at, or if you want to adjust your cant. So these have a tooth in the back there. You can see a little like jagged piece there. That'll dig into your clothing. So if you're not wearing a belt, when you go to draw, that tooth is going to dig into your clothing, so the holster isn't coming out with your gun. The holster is going to stay secure, and the gun is going to come out on its own. There's also a company called Ulti-Clip that's been out for a while. So they have a similar tooth in the back right here. But what they have is they have this metal flap on the top that kind of leverages down. So you lift that up, put your holster on your pant, and then you leverage this down, and that's going to be really tight, and that's not going to come free either. Two different options. I can't say that one really works better than the other one. I'm going to say that this is a little bit easier to get on and off, and these work much better with belts. These ones you have to get one specific set that is sized for belts, otherwise these aren't going to dig it in too well to your gun belts. So next we come to Dark Star Gear clips. I'm not sure if these are Dark Star Gear specific clips, but these are the ones that always come with your holsters if you don't get soft loops. I haven't seen them on anybody else's holsters, so I'm just giving him the credit. I don't know why these aren't more popular, because I think they are the best clips out there. They have the same tooth in here that'll dig into your clothing. So for me, for this Glock 42, I go to soccer practice with my sons. I'm going to be running around, throwing them around, playing and having fun, because they're 2 and 3 years old. They like having fun. It's not just going to be sitting on the sidelines. And the great thing about this is I don't need a belt, so I can wear gym shorts and get all sweaty and nasty, and the gun is going to stay in place. And then if I should ever actually have to need the gun, the holster will stay in place because that tooth is going to dig on my clothing, and the gun's going to come free. And the Glock 42 is light enough that gym shorts work. So I did swap out the clip on my Orion from soft loops to this clip. Now you have your different hole options at the bottom, so you can change the height that the gun's going to sit. That's generally going to change how high a grip is above your belt line. So right now it's sitting a little bit deeper than I normally work with. So the benefit of that is it's a little bit easier to conceal the gun, but if it gets too low, it's going to mess with your draw. Also, since this is kind of a huge gun to be carrying, that's going to dig into your groin a little bit more. So when you're sitting down in the car for a long time, or for me sitting down changing diapers and stuff, that can be a pain. So usually I have the gun sit a little bit higher, just for a comfort factor for bending down and crawling around all day. But again, if your screws attach at the bottom for the clip, then you can tuck your shirt in. You have many more options for adjusting the height. If the screws attach at the top, you don't have quite as many options for changing the height unless they have holes drilled for different positions. and you can't tuck your shirt, but they still work in a pinch. It just depends on what your needs are. Again, soft loops and clips, there are a ton of different clip options out there. Soft loops is basically pulled out loops and that's it, so it can be less confusing just going with soft loops, but find the ones that work for your lifestyle. You might have several different holsters depending on the jobs you have or the lifestyle you lead, and the biggest thing is just to make sure you make informed decisions. If someone's telling you that one is significantly better than the other, they're probably full of it and they have a little bit of bias influencing their decision there. Buy with the knowledge that you don't want to have to dress the gun. You want the gun to work with your lifestyle. I don't want to go out wearing baggy clothes all the time, or I don't want to go out wearing one specific set of clothing all the time just because that's how I conceal. I want to make concealment work for me and my lifestyle. If you have any questions, please ask them. I love helping people find holster options. If you want access to better videos, there's tons of videos from people like Carry Trainer, Warrior Poet Society. There's dozens of others. I'll be happy to help direct you to them. Also, Spotter Up. We have a ton of great stuff. There's dozens of other guys like me that carry guns and have some great content out there, and we'd all love to answer your questions. Thanks for taking time to listen.